Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Right, it's Monday, we're right back to the top of the workshop looking at the top performing map of the moment, and it's this one. It's based on a real-life location of a city which isn't quite there yet. It's in the design stages in real life. It's in the Netherlands, so it's going to be very lowland. And you know what? I think this has got a very strong chance of being the map of the month on this month's Viewer's Choice. If you haven't seen last month's one, it's up on the channel right now. But yeah, something about this one which ticks all the boxes that you guys seem to like. Speaking of ticking boxes, what a link! BonBonBingo. Don't forget to grab your card. Link is in the description. Okay then, so it's going to be a good show today. It's a good standard map. Looks pretty playable to me. I think it's going to be a good show. So, well, let's get that done in advance. That's right, clicking that like button really does show that you have faith that this will be a good show in advance. Thank you very much for your support. Today's map is Almere by Uncle Ron. Uncle Ron, well done. Not so excited by the thumbnail, but well done. I mean, it does sum up reclaimed land, doesn't it, that thumbnail? There you start square. Yeah, we've got strong highway and decent national roads as well. Most of the buildable space is actually below sea level because Netherlands, and then resources are good and strong as well. So there's good. What about the fishing though? Because I know you all care about the fishing. It looks like that if you have Sunset Harbour, and if you don't, you won't have fishing. Off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, it's a mass transit map. You will need mass transit for this one. There is a list of subscriptions and the one-click collection, which we'll check out in a moment. Well-written description as well. I mean, properly well-written description as well. Everything that you might want to know about the map is in here. Like, don't touch the sea level. Seriously, just don't touch the sea level, okay? And a link, of course, or a mention of the Discord channel, of course. Go and have a little look at the Discord channel. We'll be using the Almere theme mix and the Nemesis LUT. Almere theme mix is based upon the Laviente 2.0 theme. We've also got the Network Rivers from McWelshman on today's map. And you know what? It's, I think, the first time I've seen them used to good effect on a map. We've seen it used on maps with various degrees of success, but I would say today with good effect. And so starting off at the edge of the map, we have this sweeping intersection, and this is pretty much typical of the standard of the map as a whole. That said, I have one minor grumble. We are going to fly right over it, but on the left hand side, this highway exit coming towards us now, it's got a little bit of a shoulder on it, and it just looks a little bit awkward. That said, we are so close to the edge of the map. We're in deep fog in real terms, and I'm not that bothered about it, to be honest with you. And so, Lowland Netherlands, where we have all of the drainage issues and, well, water pretty much could be anywhere. This map really does feel... I'm going to tell you, the foliage work on today's map really... It hasn't been overdone. It hasn't been overdone. It's been done, I think, to the perfect level to enable you or I, as a city builder, to come in and take it and go, do you know what? We can really work with this one. I think it's absolutely on point for the sort of map that we're dealing with. The one thing that I would like from today's map that it doesn't have, and I will never map a... I'll never map a mark down on this one. I'll never mark a map down on this one, ever, ever. Recently, we've been spoiled with maps that have been using the intersection marking tool. Today's map, I think, would really benefit from the intersection marking tool to take it to the next level. I mean, we're talking about going from what is an excellent map already to one which is just sumptuous. And I think we'll go with the word sumptuous, actually. Because all these little vanilla gaps in the highways where you got the roads coming in, and if it was done well, of course there are different standards of use of the intersection marking tool, but if it was done well, all of these little gaps would be filled in, and it would just elevate it a little bit more. And it is a map that is based on a really strong road network. And I think that the map would shine just a little bit more. Not that it doesn't shine already. And yes, I've already said, I think that this map today is in with a shout of being the map of the month for July. You guys do seem to like, we've got Start Square intersection here. Let's stop for a moment and have a little look at that. Okay. And we've got a little bit, if we pull back to a certain height, a little bit of blue mantle showing through on the way that those roads have been pinched. Again, that's only going to show from a certain and we've got a little bit of texture showing through from the grass, where it's all just been pushed a little bit too tight for the base game mechanics. Start Square is over here, that line of trees, kind of guiding you into where your city centre or town centre, or however you want to work this. I don't even know how you would want to work this one, because Almere is it's the next city in the Netherlands, according to the description, which I briefly skimmed over. Thanks for that, Uncle Run. Yes, people that you spend hours crafting a perfect description and somebody just skims over it. It's how life goes, I'm afraid. I get exactly the same with mine. But yes, like especially the description of these videos. Where's my bingo card, Bonbon? Oh God, check the description of the video. Yes, yeah, the next big city. But how would you do it? How would you take on this virgin territory? I like the idea of this. Loving the waterways on today's map, and yes, I did mention about McWelshman's rivers and network rivers. We've not seen good intersection coming up here as well, which we're going to skim right over. Do you know, we're going to skim a lot over today's map. I highly recommend getting the map and just having a look for yourself, because it's lovely. But yes, I personally cannot see any time that I would use one of Welshman's network rivers. As somebody who likes doing their own rivers, you'll have seen Bonbon Island, and I've done those really fine canals, the little fine canal work in BonBonBingo. That's the sort of time when McWelshman's network rivers would have been possibly of use to me, and that I just had no desire for them, because I was happy working with the actual freehand mechanics. Today's map uses those network rivers to very good effect, like drainage ditches, effectively. I think they work so well on this map. I never thought I was going to say that, because the amount of times that we've seen McWelshman's network rivers, and not to say it's a superb network, it's a superb idea, and it's taken until today for me to actually see them being used in a way where I can go, do you know what? Yeah. Yes, indeed. I always knew it was a good thing, just not one that I would ever personally have used. Anyway, we'll be checking out the rivers in the second half of this show. Of course we will. Will we? Of course we will. So yeah, rail. Well, you knew it wasn't going to be lumpy bumpy, didn't you? You knew it wasn't going to be lumpy bumpy. Elevated, of course, because drainage lands. You really don't want these electrical lines getting flooded now. Can you imagine? Ooh, ow. Yeah, no good. No good. Elevated stations, maybe, probably, and then moving, flying across Northern Europe here. Right, what news have I got? News. Yes, the Viewer's Choice Top 10 is now live and up on the channel. So the best 10 maps of the last month, as voted by you. Bonbon Island may or may not have made the top 10. Do check out that video to see just how well or not well it did. Oh, yeah, you never know, do you? Do you never know? And of course, the map of the month again. In fact, the map of the month for last month, not totally dissimilar to this one. This is actually telling you that Bonbon Island isn't number one. Because Bonbon Island is nothing like this one at all. I would say there's a little bit more buildable space on this map than Bonbon Island. And on this map than most other maps, for that matter, given the amount of space we've got. But yeah, don't mess with the water levels. Be careful. Be very, very careful. Don't remove any dams or anything like that, because I think you might be playing with trouble if you do that. Yeah, it's very slick. The networks are always very slick. We've got plenty of national roads as well. We'll have a look at some of the features in the second half of the show. Of course, we'll be checking out the shipping and the water flow, all that sort of stuff, right after today's intermission. Today's intermission, a little plug to my own little merch store. Have you been to my merch store yet? Go on, off you go.
Do you watch BonBon with your morning coffee? Do you want to feel closer to the show? Then you need either the modern or retro mug from BonBonB. Click the information button now.
And so back to Almere by Uncle Ron and the shipping routes. Now, while you can see the shipping routes are going through some very low bridges, in that description there is an instruction on how to switch your ships from vanilla to some low bridges, to some low ships, custom ships, to avoid clipping through those bridges. And that's all you need to do. If you want to do low bridges, if you want to do something like this, where the vanilla ships aren't gonna cut it, then just tell the idiots that have never ever used custom vehicles before. The idiots, you know, like me and you, who never used these things before. Tell them what they have to do and where they can find it. Link it all in, and you're covered. You won't get marked down on shipping clipping. And yes, I use the words shipping clipping. But yes, today's map, no problem with that, because it is all covered for. Water flow, doesn't matter. We've got plenty of water, but we also have these pipes. And these pipes are going to lead us down to a water production area, a water services area, this area. Yes, we've got pumping and draining going on, and particularly liking the water motion on where the sewage is on the left hand side there. Have a little look here. Look at the water flow going across that. I think that's pretty neat. Pretty neat. Describes the whole map, actually, I think. First of all, where do we start? Let's start over here. There's loads of alluding to wetland areas like that. And again, the foliage I think has been used perfectly well on today's map. Then we have dams holding back the water from flooding our lands. Thank you, dams. Thank you so much. Loads of little feature areas, highlight areas like this. I mean, that is amazing. That is amazing. Just the detail areas are absolutely superb. And then, like I say, the hints to the wetlands like that as well all feel really lovely as well. Got a few more piers over here. We've got some wind farms in place over here as well. If you've got the network roads mod, then you are set to go with that as well, I feel. Then if we head over this way, we've got Marina. We'll have a look at the Marina in a moment. A couple of bridges. And I'm looking for... There's a castle somewhere. Ooh, it's a castle. Yeah, there's a couple of bridges. I would say they are absolutely on point as well. Where's this castle? There is a castle somewhere. There it is. This is well done. This is very well done. It's one of those typical Northern European star-shaped castles, and it's been done beautifully. Right, this castle entrance, have a little look at that wall that's been elevated to give us that gate. I like that. Liking the doors on the outside as well. We can't get any lower. Now, if we were going lower, I'm not marking any map down on this either. If you go underneath that wall, you look up, there is no wall above us. We pull back a little bit more. These These networks aren't meant to be seen from the underside, okay? Just sort of let you know, in case you're looking for a really cool screenshot from underneath those things, you're not going to get it. Then we have these towers. I'm loving the way these towers have been done as well. They do have a door, but the door is being clipped into the wall on the back, all the way around. And why are you going to say, how do you get into those towers? I think we have to leave a little bit to the imagination. I think we do. I think they've been done really nicely. All of the doors on that castle are basically where I would expect them or want them to be. We've got forests, and they are great shapes. Again, they must be based on the real-life location. They must be, as you'll see in a moment. We'll see a couple of feature areas in a moment that look like they must have been taken from a real life. I haven't actually checked the map on this one. What more have we got? Yeah, here we go. Here's a couple of those feature areas. This has to be a golf course in real life. There has to be. Not sure what that is there in real life, but again, it looks very defined, and it's not something you would make up. Okay, want a flaw on the map. We have one street light clipping right there. This is because the underpass here is actually on a hill, and at this end, this street lamp doesn't actually clip through, but at the other end, the street lamp does, because it's going up the hill. So yeah, that's about the only major flaw I could find in terms of detailing. We've got some bumpy edges to the rivers. The ones that aren't network rivers, here's the network river. Network rivers, they look really smooth. I think the drainage on these, the idea for the drainage on those looks amazing. But the bumpy edges on that river there is just a little bit awkward. And then this is a little bit awkward as well. This is almost exactly perfect, okay? But watch what happens with the water flow up here. The water spawn point is up here, and we just get a little bit of a funny looking water flow going on at that point. Loving the little loving all the little feature areas here as well. I mean, what can I tell you about that? It's just a little harbour-y type thing. Speaking of harbours, we have a marina. Marina is beautifully done as well. Cannot find anything to moan about with that either. And shall we head towards the start square? I think we should. Let's have a look at the start square, and a very typical Dutch asset of the day. When I say Dutch, what I mean is New Amsterdam, New York, except for this is actually Bedford, Texas, which is near to New York in the grand scheme of things. Certainly nearer to New York than I am. Bennington Field, Bedford, Texas, by luminou. Luminou, I don't know what to say really. Luminou, wow. Genuinely, wow. Yeah, American football. That's that game of football which you play with your hands. Apart from the one guy who uses his foot. Although they're all playing on their feet, so they're playing on their feet and they're using a ball. So, I guess. American logic. Factoids, because factoids. Oh, I had a good one today. I've lost it. I will use this one instead. Okay. Before Persia became Iran officially in 1935, it was called Iran. Really? Really? Before Persia became Iran officially in 1935, perhaps it was just called. I don't know. I'm not checking. Pennington Field, Bedford, Texas by luminou. This is exquisite work. Certainly as assets of the day go, this is an asset of the day. And so, we pull back. We could spend hours just going over little areas on this, following the networks and stuff, but we won't. We'll just end the show here. But before we do, what do you think of today's map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Click the I button now in the top right corner of your screen, or the link in the description. It'll take you to the voting page where you can vote for free. Don't know about a decent screenshot on this one. It's all about the waterways and stuff, isn't it? This'll do. This'll do. Right, what do I think of today's map? I like it. I really do, actually. Aesthetically, I think it could be pushed to another level. I think it could have been. There's one or two bumpy rivers that should be straight canals and stuff like that, and they're quite notable. But other than that, I think it's very strong. I'm gonna go middle 4. It's a strong 4-star map. Detailing, again, it's a very strong map for detailing. There's a lot of good stuff on here, not much to mark it down on, apart from one street light. I'm going to go for a medium-high 4 stars. Gameplay potential. Do you know what? I feel this is playable. I think so. I think this is what most people are looking for, actually. I'm going to hit it. Big 5-0. It's a 5-star map for gameplay. Almere by Uncle Ron. Think has to have the BonBonB seal of approval for many reasons, mostly because I approve. Uncle Ron, you have done a good job there. If all I'm complaining about is a slightly bumpy canal edge and one streetlight clipping, oh, and you didn't use a mod, which you don't have to use anyway, I think you've done a good job. Anyway, thanks for watching, for commenting, for liking and for subscribing. If you're still here, you're part of the 20 Now Elite. Use the words of the day. I'm not using it today. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. You use the words of the day in the comments, and I'll be back tomorrow with another map in the What's Map series. Thanks for watching.